Can I give out a quick warning? Common sense. Something we should know from birth. Anyway, if something's not broke, what does that mean? In fact, I'm going to change the whole talking point. If something's not broke, what does it mean? What does that actually mean? You don't need fixing, right? Don't need fixing. You don't even need replacing. What are hospitals and doctors made for, right? The buildings and they're over there. They're just sitting over there in a certain place you have to travel to, right? Why do you travel to a doctor's or a hospital? Why? Because there's something wrong with you, right? You're not feeling well, or something has happened to you to a point where something. Okay. So like I was saying something before, if it's not broke, you don't need fixing. Doctors that their own buildings. When you feel sick, not when I don't know what, your best friend's aunties, uncles, next door neighbor that you don't even know is sick. When you feel sick, when human beings feel sick, they get up off their ass somehow or whatever, and they go to either a hospital or doctors. What for? Medication to get fixed, right? Because they're ill. Don't worry, people, I'm going somewhere. So now, why is it today we have phone calls, right, telling us to go to doctors, telling us to go to the doctors, telling us to go to the hospitals, whatever, to go and get these jabs. Pre-warning. Do we deserve pre-warning from these people? Are they pre-helping us? Are they fixing situations? So anyway, my point is this. If it's not broke, it don't need fixing. You as a human being, when you are sick, you get up or be taken, carried, whatever, to a place to get worked on and fixed. These days, we're having phone calls telling us to go to these places and have certain injections. People are having these injections and they're getting sick and ending up in the hospital. Back in 2004, 2006, I was in prison. And they said the flu jab, everyone has to have a flu jab, boom, boom, boom. It's flu season, boom, boom, boom. So I was like, all right, then cool, I'll have it. And when I had the flu jab, you know what happened to me? I was effed up for like 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks, I was effed up, body in bits. I couldn't move. I was like, yo, what is happening to me? And it's not, I had the flu jab, not because I caught the flu, no, because of the pre-warning that they give out. Anyway, I want you to watch this news and just pay attention to the trickery. We're going back through all that, and I want to say something to you. Even though some people have suffered with COVID and all that stuff, remember when the COVID will first come out and shit, and the lies and the scandal that come with it, the fake pictures of hospital beds and shit, and all that stuff. And if you pay attention to the world, hospitals ain't the same as what they used to be ever since COVID started. Remember, they devised the plan, man. They've devised the plan, man. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to watch this video. And yeah, enjoy. And come on. You know what time it is. In fact, let me tell you the answer to all this. Like I was saying before, if it's not broke, it don't need fixing. Okay? So, when these people call, there's no need to jump up just because they called and go to these places and have these things done to you. No. Wait until you are sick. Wait until you are sick, because that's how it's supposed to be. When you are sick, you go to these places, right? So stop jumping up beforehand, going to these places, taking these things just in case you catch it. Well, I've just put out a really, and I haven't had a flu injection since, since that time that happened to me in prison. I haven't had one since. I've never caught the flu. But yeah, some people are gonna have weaker immune systems and stuff like that. I suggest you eat them vitamins, vitamin A, B, C, D's, and all that stuff. Do what you gotta do to keep your body. You know what your body needs. You, as your own person, know what your body needs. So get on that and make sure you stay warm throughout this whole cold winter and get your vitamins. You know what I'm saying? And just be good. You know what I'm saying? You get me? Because I'm telling you, it's going to be a worse turnout for you if you jump up to these phone calls and yeah, start getting them jabs. Like I'm saying, just leave it until you're sick. Common sense, right? Mama taught me best. If it's not broke, don't need fixing, changing, replacing, right? Let's just go with God's logic on this one and start listening to the dumb downers. Anyway, peace.
The NHS is warning of a triple-demic this winter with flu, COVID and rising emergency cases. Figures out this morning show 344 patients a day were admitted to hospital with flu last week. This is 10 times the number seen in the first week of December 2021. 19 in 20 adult, general and acute beds were occupied over the last week, with overall occupancy levels at 95%. And more than 13,000 beds a day were occupied by people who no longer needed one. This is up a quarter compared to the first week of December last year. Well, let's get more on that story from our health correspondent, Ashish Joshi. And that last figure, Ashish, really just shows the root of the problem. There are so many people in these beds that they can't get new people in to treat them.
The urgency in social care is impacting the entire NHS, and that's been the case for some time now. And that's recognised, I think, now by the government. It's announced as fund to help NHS trusts and their social care partners to be able to move some of these patients out, free up the hospital beds to try and ease the pressure on the NHS as it grapples with what is turning out to be a very difficult winter. Some of the other figures that you just read through there, that tells us flu season is already here. The number of patients in hospitals with flu extremely high, and we've only just begun the start of flu season. So this is the triple-demic that NHS leaders and health leaders have been warning about for some time. We have COVID, it's still around and it's still impacting hospitals and healthcare. We have the flu season underway. We also have this incredible pressure on emergency departments. And now we have the spectre of union action over the next few weeks. We'll hear tomorrow from the nurses about the dates when they announce what dates they'll be taking industrial action. That will impact elective care, routine appointments. They'll be pushed back. So this pressure that continues to build on the NHS is certainly beginning to tell. And especially with flu, the problem here is there's an acute shortage of pediatric intensive care unit beds. Flu impacts mostly on children, especially vulnerable children with underlying health conditions, and the elderly. I've been speaking to pediatric consultants over the past couple of days, and they've been telling me about a real shortage of beds and some of these children having to wait in emergency departments before they can access their intensive care beds. So flu, I think a lot of people are quite dismissive about it, or have been, because we haven't seen it over the last couple of years because of the pandemic, because of mitigation measures, because the viruses haven't really been spreading around because of social distancing as well. But now it's back, and we were expecting respiratory illnesses to rebound, and they certainly are. This is what the Chief Operating Officer for the Imperial Healthcare Trust, Claire Hook, had to say about the pressures on her trust over the winter.
Our activity, I think, this year is about 7% up in terms of the number of patients who are coming through our accident and emergency departments. But we're still at quite an early stage of our sort of winter season, so we would expect to get much busier as the course of the next few weeks go on, and we are expecting it to be particularly challenging, partly because of the backlog of our elective work that we're getting through, and partly because of the demand at the front door, as well, of course, as the potential around respiratory illness, COVID, flu, etc. So we're planning for a very, very busy winter.
So we knew these pressures existed already, but it seems now, looking at the latest data, this winter situation report, which is the first time this winter it's been published, it'll be published every week on a Thursday from now on. That will give us a real indicator about just how much pressure the NHS is coming under.
Ashish, thank you very much.